3, 2, 1.
We are live.
I'll double check that we're live because
We're gonna double check.
and we are live still.
We're live, so I appreciate everyone tuning in for yet another episode of Escaping Success Podcast with your host Adedire
And Tom Leffler, thank you for tuning in.
Yeah, I appreciate y'all. So today's gonna be a rather quick one, but I think y'all are really gonna enjoy what we get into because it's gonna be something that's kind of near and dear to us, and it's kind of like a concept that's pretty difficult to articulate. So today we're gonna be talking about like how like in our life like faith or like just having an unwavering belief about something, how that has bear fruit or how that has kind of like manifested itself in kind of something that we were looking for that's very tough to find in life. And again, it's not any specific situation, but just generally. So kind of to tee us off, Tom, I just wanted to ask a question. So when you think of like having an unwavering belief about something, how do you get there? Like, how do you get to that heart posture where you're like, no, this is the way I'm going, and
So interesting you asked that. Like, it's how you get there is, I think, a very I don't really know how you get there because like I think whatever gets instilled in your head, like I can't say like, okay, how did I get to the belief that I'd have this physical body that I currently have? Like, I didn't implant that there. I don't know where it came from. It could have been just like, seeing like action heroes on TV or like seeing people in great shape, athletes, sports. Like, I don't know where that idea came from that like, I want that body.
Yes.
Like just like an example.
Yep.
So I don't necessarily know where that idea, like, okay, it wasn't like one day I'm like, I want to have, be jacked and strong. And like, that's where I'm going. It's like, I think it's just like realizing what it takes to get there. And like the attractiveness of it, like for me, for example, like to get to be in a place where I'm strong, lean, all that, I know it's, you look good, but it takes so many other steps to get there. Like you can't, to get there, I mean, some people are genetically gifted and they could get there naturally, which again, that's awesome. Yeah. But most people, it just shows, okay, like it's discipline, it's work ethic, it's sacrifice, it's consistency, it's like, it's all these other things, all these attributes that I found attractive that I want to be like, okay, if I get there, more than likely I'm going to attain those attributes, which I want to have anyway. So like to get jacked and strong and lean, you got, at least for me, you got to be consistent, you got to be disciplined, you got to be regimented, you got to work hard, you got to be willing to say no. Those are the things that it takes for me, it took to get there. I'm like, I want to have those qualities, so that's why I'm like, I'm going to go for that.
Yes, that's very interesting. So another thing I wanted to ask is like, so that's very fair and very easy to accept that you don't know how to get there. But now when you're along your way, how can you kind of articulate to like someone who's younger or someone who's kind of like deciding on starting a business or deciding on a career or even deciding on a journey to really go after their health? How do you not get distracted? What's your process with dealing with distractions, and how can what are some things that you've kind of come along the ways to make it simple to kind of deal with distractions on your journey?
Mm-hmm. Great question, because no matter what journey you go on, because it's a journey. So if you're where you are now, if you're going to journey somewhere else, you're going to get a lot of obstacles in your way. Mm-hmm. And honestly, most of the obstacles are the people that are around you or that really care for you. It's awful to say this, but initially, most of the people that when you're on that journey, it's like, okay, again, you're on your path, like you grow up a certain way, but you're like, hey, I want to be super financially successful, or I want to be super healthy, or I want to be the best at this. You got to branch out of that. Yeah. And I think it's accepting that you're not like them, and you're not like, you don't have to do what they do, and like, not in a way to demean them, but it's a way to just be like comfortable in your own enough that like you could be like going to someone's house or like going out to eat and ordering something off the menu or just not eating. Like that's kind of where I am at, is like I was comfortable enough with myself and where like I'm like, I want to be jacked and lean so bad that I don't care if my friends make fun of me that I'm eating grilled chicken breasts right now, or I drive them to, like in college I drive them to McDonald's or whatever. I don't order anything, and like I go home and I eat like over easy eggs and like rice and sweet potatoes. Like I was okay with that, like not being part of the crowd. Right. And I think that's the hardest part, which I realized like I'm so blessed that I never felt that way. Is like I'm so sure and I want to get there so bad. I don't really care what anybody else thinks. Like this is what I can only care how I feel and how I think about myself. So their opinion doesn't really matter. It does, like, obviously if I'm hurting somebody, or but like, I think that's the hardest thing I realize is like, people, they don't like to stand out.
And
like,
they bear so much weight on the expectations
to fit in.
Or even the expectation of other people of how they should behave. Because like, to your point, like, the idea is like, since you're driving them there and you're the first person, you're even the person talking to the drive-through person, that at least you'll throw in a Frosty, at least you'll throw in a McFlurry.
Because they're buzzed up, I'm not even drinking. And so already standing out because I'm not drinking.
Yeah.
I'm the DD, I'm driving, and I'm like, okay, a couple of things, I'm not drinking, which is already standing out.
Yeah.
The second thing is I'm not engaging in eating that food. It's like, again, it's just, I don't want that. Like, it's like, I value my body, like where I want to go with that. Like, it's not even an option.
Yeah.
But I think it's hard for people to, because some people, they know themselves. Like, I have a friend, he knows himself, and he can't be around people like that because he'll succumb to it. So he purposely moves himself to a new environment because he's like, I can't be here because if I'm here, I know I'll just succumb to it. I don't have that willpower or self-discipline to stand out enough that I need to go be around people that I want to be like. Yeah. Which is fine. Like that, if you know yourself,
hey, listen,
that works.
By any means, right? That's true. That's true. So not everyone's gonna have the ability to maintain the same friend group and still be uninfluenced.
100%.
So another question I have to ask is like, so now along your journey, right, as you come closer to kind of like the end, does your mindset change?
The journey never ends.
So
and that's the thing. It's like, as I realize, like it's the mindset does change because it's a weird evolution. You know, it's like, so initially it's instilling a discipline to do those certain things, like having a discipline to go to bed at the same time, having a discipline to work out at the same time, having a discipline to work, do all those things. And then when you get so wrapped up into it, I think, at least for me, which is, I know the super opposite spectrum, I now need discipline to get out of my discipline.
Yeah.
Because then I was so, not robotic, but so regimented and routine that like, I'd be like, okay, like I could be out hanging with friends and like not drink or anything, just having a great time, but it's like, oh, it's 9:30, I need to go home and sleep so I wake up at 5 a.m. and work out in the morning. Yeah. You know, because I need my 8 hours sleep or 9 hours sleep. Like, and I was just like, I would forgo that connection just because I needed sleep or I needed to hit that workout the next morning. So it's a weird boundary, that's why my next evolution is finding that, like, it's not balance, but finding that equilibrium, like where, you know, like realize, okay, I'm in a season of life right now where, like I'm like my sleep is not gonna be the best, my physical body's not gonna be the best, but I'm gonna just like, cause work's more intense. Like seriously, like right now, like my sleep's been awful. Like I've been averaging probably like 4 to 5 hours of sleep the last 3 weeks. Wow. But versus the winter, I have time. You know, I could have relationships, all that stuff. I could like get 8 to 9 hours of sleep. So this is a season right now, and I'm aware of it, but I'm choosing like to realize like, okay, I'm not gonna be the strongest I'm gonna be, and my workouts aren't gonna be the best. I'm not sleeping that much, and so it's a weird balancing act. And I think the journey never stops in a sense because, like, as you get, for example, if like you're super focused on getting jacked and strong and like all those things, your relationship with friends might suffer, your relationship with your spouse or girlfriend might suffer, or your relationship like with finances or money might suffer because like you're like, I'm just gonna get like, you know, so it's you kind of are always finding like, okay, so like this might be a season of life where like I'm dedicating myself to get in amazing shape, like to get to this point, and then once you're there, it's actually easier to maintain that, so you can kind of step out of it more and focus on other things. Like that's what I found. It's like, okay, I reached a physical part of my body, so the same stuff that took me to get there, I don't need to get there. As you know, you're a financial advisor. Yeah. The same steps to save the money, once you have it, you don't have to do the same thing. Yeah. It's just like a different, you know, it's different mindset. Like once you have, you know, like
in
the bank, it's compounding interest, it does that. But saving that first lump sum is the hardest. Yeah. But once you have it, you have to readjust. So I think that's the one thing I realized is like, you just gotta realize like, you know, kind of check yourself, because like, you know, you were in a season of life maybe for a year, 2 years, or a couple of years where like you're focused on one thing and then realize, okay, I got that thing, or it's there. It's like, okay, what do I want to focus on now? And like that might take a backseat, but you put the work in, so it's going to hopefully be less work to maintain that.
Yeah. So I'm going to pull on the empathy strings on your heart a little bit and saying like, you know, I would even go out and boldly say that a lot of people have faith in like who they're able of being or what they're able to achieve or where they're able to go. I have this unwavering belief that a lot of people truly want that for themselves, right? But because of discouragement, like or like something not going adversity or something not going
your
way that they want,
not as planned.
they kind of slip back into kind of like feeling bad for themselves or not doing that. So like, how could you? Because I mean, it's hard for someone to say that you were there at one point, and I'm not going to assume that you're there.
Yeah, it was.
But could you take us back to a time in your life that you're like earlier on in the thing, and it's like very difficult, like the yo-yo part, where you're like making strides and then relapsing, making strides and then relapsing in any area of your life, or even any decision in your life, whether it be business, financial, or even in terms of your health. Like what's a way that you, looking back, you got out of that loop?
Yeah, I mean, it's an easy example. The yo-yo was dieting, because I was in a period probably like 2 or 3 years ago where it was binge eating. Like it was just like, it was a cycle. Every like 5 to 6 days, it was like binge eating. Because like I would, I was dieting too hard, and then I'd binge eat because I was just dieting too hard, and then the next day I'd fast after. Cause like I would overwork out, like not eat, overwork out. So then my body would be like in like survival mode again. Then a couple of days, like I just kept punishing myself. Like it was like a repetitive cycle. Then I think to get out of it, going back to the patient standpoint, is realizing I'm in this for the long game. Like I want to be healthy and fit for the rest of my life. And this could be any area. Like I want to be financially stable for the rest of my life. I want to be, have great relationships for the rest of my life. Like, so I think taking that, the short term, like right now, next week, 30 days, 60 days, 90 days framework out of everything. It's like, I want to be a millionaire in 90 days. Okay. You probably could do that, but you might have to swindle people, screw over this guy, not sleep, take money from this person, maybe go to jail, like do some stuff, but you could get there faster. But it's like, how do I be a millionaire and have good financial practices for the rest of my life? How do I have great, you could get a great relationship with somebody. It's like fiery, it's spicy, it's like highs and lows, all this stuff. It's amazing, but then you're a year in, you have no peace of mind. So I think for me, it was taking thinking more long term. And so dieting is a perfect example. It's like, I realized the way I was dieting and exercising wasn't long term sustainable. Because like I was just like, I want to be fit and jacked and lean now, but I wasn't thinking I want to be lean, jacked, and fit and feel good for the rest of my life. So once I finally made that connection, that like, okay, so after a binge, I'm not going to fast the next day and over exercise, because that's going to lead to another binge. I'm actually just going to maybe go for a walk and actually nourish my body with good, healthy food, so then I don't feel like I'm deprived. And like I might be heavier earlier on, and I actually did, honestly, which is it messes with your mind. But when I started my health journey, I actually consciously gained weight to build my metabolism back up, because at the time I was exercising probably like almost 90 minutes to 2 hours every day, and only eating 2,000 calories at 220 pounds.
Wow. Now
I am 225 pounds and eating probably 3,500 to 4,500 calories a day. And some days I exercise 30 minutes, some days I exercise an hour, but I enjoy my workouts. I'm not doing it because I beat myself up. I also thought of what's the workouts I could do for the rest of my life that I actually enjoy versus the workouts that burn the most calories, or, So I think it's coming from a place of what can I consistently do long term? Because it's hard, because even for you, you're probably I wish I was lean, and right now, I wish I lost all the weight right away. And we could just be let's go to on Biggest Loser, let's go let's just go to let's just kill ourselves, let's run 20 miles a day, but then at the end of that, your metabolism gonna be shot, you're gonna have negative, you're I hate exercising, I hate dieting, and you're probably gonna gain this weight back once again, because
I was gonna that's fantastic. So speaking to human nature, because do you still find yourself sometimes you see something, you're looking for the shortest way out, like the shortcut, and how do you block off that lane in your mind?
It's so funny you say that, because I was actually talking to my friend yesterday, because he has his own business too, and all my escapes, because right now, I mean, things have calmed down the last 2 days, but work, I handled this preseason the best I ever have. But again, stuff happened, like we talked about, unpredictable stuff happened.
Unpredictable.
And it got me there. Like, I got to that place where, like, I was just overwhelmed, like, feeling sorry for myself, like, the negative, but the old
self-talk,
negative
self-hate,
self-hate all came through. And, like, I was, like, part of me is, like, I want to escape this, you know? And, like, I'm like, I want to just, like, eat a bunch of sugar and stuff, or I want to go, like, watch porn, or I want to go, like, run to an unhealthy relationship, or like just like run from my feelings, or like I wanted to engage in like escapism behavior, and like
just something pleasurable to
anything,
just get your mind off
just
for a few seconds.
Anything to get out of this. But I know now that behavior makes me feel worse.
Yeah, bro. At the moment,
in the moment,
doing
better.
It's just. But then, just as it's done, you take the towel. You're trying to clean yourself after you just. Like, after you feel all masturbate, it's like, I just feel disgusting right now. And it's a lot of people don't talk about this enough, like, especially for men. Like, we're not, like, we don't deal with our feelings properly. Like, it's, raise your voice, or you just blow the actual thing out of proportion. It's like, what happened is tough, but it's not now enough to warrant you, like, you putting yourself in a position now. On top of that, you feel guilt, shame, remorse, is just disgusting after, So
it
perpetuates the cycle. It actually makes it deeper now. So now that you feel bad, you actually make another mistake again, and then you're back at the same spot.
Versus, like, I think it's coming to accepting, like,
wow, this
is hard.
This is tough.
This sucks.
But I'm not going to escape.
I'm not going to escape it. Like, and I think that's where
face this out.
And that's what I did. And like, also I prayed. Like, I just prayed. Like, I'm like on my hands and knees. I'm like, yo, big guy. Like, let's. I'm like, yeah. And like, being honest.
I said, quite frankly, I asked for God to intervene.
And like, I have no problem saying it's like, I'm fucking crying and just like on my knees. Like, I don't know what else to say.
There's nothing wrong with
and just laying it out.
Do you know what's so awesome about what you just said, bro? It releases so much, because people look at religiousness and that's just so like out of whack. Being a person of faith is actually so powerful. Like, just being, because it's faith. For you to even go on your knees and feel vulnerable like that.
But I felt so much better.
But when have you ever done that and not felt better?
And it got better.
Yeah, it's like I never remembered a time in my life that I've cried out to God, like literally cry out to God, like in despair, and not have felt better.
Yeah.
It's like,
it's
you almost felt like you went there earlier.
100%. Yeah. But like, and I did that, and then I felt like I released it that way.
Yeah.
And then I kind of thought about things more logically.
Yeah.
And like, I just like,
you're just like, all right.
I'm like, okay, these negative thoughts, all this stuff doesn't serve me. So like, why am I still thinking those things? And like, not getting mad at myself for having the initial emotional reaction.
Yeah, that's human. But like, you went about it the right way now. You're like, Lord, like, God, help me. Like, I can't deal with this. This is too much weight for me. So in that moment, what was your prayer? What did your prayer sound like even? Like,
I said, like, just like, give me strength, and like, I want, like, well, the thing that's like, it's not like this hard thing that I and dealing with like that in the past was, it's two doors.
Yeah.
Like, it's not, I know it's not the healthy mindset.
No, but
it's not like
right.
anymore. It's either like, I'm gonna die, or I'm going to do this.
Yeah.
Like, there's
no kill me, or like,
I'm really gonna off myself, or I'm gonna get through this.
Wild.
Like that's the thing. It's like,
wild,
it's not a healthy mindset, but like, that was my mindset. It's like, either I'm going to just shut up and do it, or I'm going to die. Because like, I know I'm not. Part of me, I'm not going to quit in the sense of like not do the work that has to get done.
Oh, so you're going to die trying, kind of do this or die trying.
Basically, And I don't know if that's like a healthy or like bad mindset, but I'm like, I'm either going to die or I'm going to do this, because like I can't just like let things go. Like, I'm not the type of person where it's like, okay, like, all this work has to get done, but like, oh, I don't care. Like, it'll just explode.
It's like, I'm going to get this done.
I'm going to get it done. Or I'm gonna die.
I don't care how big this pile of work is. I'm gonna go through this.
Yeah. So like, I don't know if that's a healthy mentality, but like, because like, and so I was like thinking logically. I'm like, okay, if this, even just like, again, I'm not gonna do this, but like, I'm like, I care about myself so much now. That's like, okay, if the business is taking me there, like I'm going to the place where I'd rather die than do the work, like that's not healthy.
Yeah, you step away.
So it's like maybe I don't do this business anymore. Like there's other options.
That's
just
true.
logically
That's
think about it.
true.
It's like there's other avenues where it's like I care about myself and I want to live. Like I don't want to put myself in that situation where I'm like I'm either gonna kill myself or I'm gonna do the work.
Yeah.
So I have that, and I think that's the thing is like I had like a real just conversation with myself. That's like that's not the there's not
It doesn't have to be binary.
Yes.
Like that, you know, it's like it could change to like I'm gonna do this now or I'm gonna retreat and figure out a plan.
Yeah.
You know, like that.
There's other options.
There's other options. Yeah.
Yeah.
But at least you identify that. Now getting to that, sometimes it's as simple as the same way you went. God give me strength. God give me the answers. Open my eyes to the answers to like where I'm going. Like
and I do pray for that.
I think as human beings we really underestimate the fact that like bro like you could ask for help. Like the mere fact of asking God to help you is like that's vulnerability. And that's our pride is like what keeps us bound a lot of times. And like. Bro, crying to God in your room, like people think you're crazy, but like you actually
so much better.
That's wild, bro.
Yeah. And actually, like something for me, like that was I don't know if this is I haven't fact checked this, but like something for me that like really kind of hit home recently was I like heard it that like I guess I don't know how recently this was. I never heard this before, but they found like Jesus's blood or like I don't know they were whatever were. Supposedly where Jesus got crucified, there's this black muck or whatever, and they brought it to a lab, and they said it only had 24 chromosomes, and that means they're just from a mother.
Yeah.
And like, I mean, so how
this is real? Yeah.
Like how crazy is that? Like it's like because everyone.
How is it possible to find chromosomes only from a mother?
Like 24 chromosomes.
If you
really like it just came from a mother.
Because if you consider who Jesus is, right? He literally like his mother. Like so, his father is God, and his mother is because the dad actually passes on the gene. Have you ever seen the video on YouTube of like the second where like an egg gets fertilized? Scientists can't like understand why. Some people say it's zinc, but literally the second where an egg gets fertilized, there's a flash of light. Life, like that's wild to think about. Like there's a flash of light, but like he actually was like, I mean, you're Roman Catholic. Like God is the Word. Jesus is the Word became flesh. Like it's and like if science has shown that they found muck that there's only chromosomes of a woman, it's possible that Jesus is real. And if it's true that it's possible that now it's like all right, now let's look at what he said. He said that I am the way, the truth, and the light, and no one can have access to the Father but through me. So that means to say that if he said that, that also means that he's still alive. Because part of his death is that the resurrection. So it means that like we don't have to go through this life alone. And that like, hey man, maybe if there's Jesus, maybe there's Holy Spirit. Maybe you don't, maybe there is someone back. But like, it's just so cool that like science, and you see, I don't know whether you noticed, but a lot of people have been giving their life to Jesus Christ. Like people who are like really influential.
More than ever.
More than ever.
I see a turn coming.
But what it is, and I think people are understanding that like, bro, like it's not overcomplicated. It's actually very simple. It's like this life is very simple. Like I don't have to go through this
alone. I think that's what it comes.
And do you know the interesting thing about relationships? The more relationships you have in life, you're actually closer to finding God. Do you know why I think that? Because like when God created Adam, he was over there chilling, but he was like, oh, it's not good for him to be alone. I need a helper for him. So like, that relationship, it actually helped him. Like, granted, there was a fall that happened, but like, relationship is very important for human beings. If you're by yourself, you're probably not gonna be a good person in society. But if you have relationships, like you're actually like, you're likely to experience love, and through experiencing love, you're likely to experience God. And I think that has been like a testimony in your life, bro. Like, look at from when I met you to now, like how rich have you been in relationships?
More than I could even imagine. But I prayed for it. And I wanted that. But going to the point of like being alone, when I was the most alone, is when I had the least amount of faith.
Yeah, and also the most amount of hedonistic
pleasure. because I was just alone, just like chasing, just like whatever, the money, the business, all that stuff, and I had no relationships, none of that, and I was just like so self-obsessed that I had no faith, I had no relationships, and I was the most miserable. And but then when I fostered my faith again, the relationships came, and now it's like
Bro, it's fantastic, bro. I gotta look up on that chromosome, dude. That's fantastic.
I just saw that the other day, and I was like, what?
But it's wild because like I didn't need all of that to believe in who he is, because I look around and I'm like, wait a minute, like this is just too much. Like how is it that, you know, you can think about someone, you call them and they're having a hard time, and it's like wait, God, like, is that you? Like, you're over here praying and God's like you just have an idea in your mind, like, let me call so and so, and they're having a hard time, and you have I'm like, there were just so many things happening in life, and I was like, bro, there has to be God. Like, life attests to that. Like, creation, like everything just shows, like, how are these birds eating? And the pollination, like, how does it go from winter to spring, and like all this stuff happens, and like it's like I just look at the world and I'm like, bro, like there has to be a God.
And I think that's what the problem is, when you finally take that veil off of like,
it's like
you kind of see things and like, it's not just a coincidence anymore. It's hard to explain. Because like people think it's woo woo or whatever.
You can't explain. Do you know why? Because you can't explain it, because it's not logical. In like it. There's logical like things that surround it, but there's no logic to it, because you need faith to access it. And one thing I was gonna say too is that like I feel like, unfortunately, a lot of religions, like religiousness, especially in Christianity, kind of take advantage of, like, I don't know, things in general to sway people from what it's really about. It's the message is quite simple. Jesus is real. He wants us to have a relationship with God. Very simple. God loves us, right? He loves us so much that he sent his son into the world. He literally did something that, like, you know, that has never been done before. God come on earth to die, get resurrected, so that we can have a relationship with him. Because we had messed up. And like, there's certain laws. Like, bro, if you put motor oil in my water, I can't drink it. So what do I have to do to the water to drink it? Purify it. So that process of sending his son was like the purification of us, so that we can like commune with him. Like, it's very simple. God loves us first. We don't even understand who God is, right? Because like, I think it takes a lifetime to understand the vastness of God. And I would even go far as say it's an eternity to understand the vastness of God. Because even if you look at your life, like, I think in times when I was younger, it was easier to believe then than when I'm older, because there's so much trauma in my life. And the way, like, just to end this like big spiel, is that like, I found that like in me acknowledging God and enjoying his love, my life has been better. Granted, bad things still happen to me. I still like lost a child. Like, you know, there's things that happen to me that are terrible, right? But it's like that, having that joy and that relationship.
For example, to cut you off.
Yeah, sorry, no, you're good.
This morning, you know, like, two things happened. And like, you know, I think we're just like, you know, they happen and we're not fretting over it.
100%.
And like, another person like, oh my God, this is awful. Like, oh geez, like, you know,
it's not that big of a deal, bro.
Whatever.
Like, I'm not trying to like, that doesn't define me, bro, because like, life is more than that. And how is it wrong for me to want to share that with other people? For people to also have that come to that same understanding? Is that wrong for me to desire that? Because there's no what's it called? There's no underlying motive, right? Like, I genuinely want people to experience that. And the reason why I want people to experience that is that I realized where I was before. Bro, I was addicted to pornography from age 12 to now. I was so addicted to just please myself. And don't get me wrong, like, there's still things I need to break off, like in my journey of weight and things I need to. I don't have a good relationship with food, but it's getting better. But what in all things, like that same like 14, when I like finally like made the decision to give my life to Christ, even though like I like, you know, went back and forth about it, but I was like very serious about it. My life has been a testament of the joy. You remember me in high school? I was always happy. Like, there was like when people had their
you still radiate, but like that's what like I would just walk, like, you were a thrower, so I'd walk and like AD would just have a group of people, big smile on his face, and like the energy, like it was just, you saw the light, you know, like you saw energy, like you can't like, it's just, you can't explain it, but you just had that, you had that fire, you know, that light in you, and people just gravitated to you, a big smile, like, you know, and you have it more than ever now, but it's like, you know, like if you can't get along with this person, like there's something wrong with you.
100%.
But like you big smile on his face, like, you know, just pure joy and like bliss, and like it's I think, yeah, whatever, just be you're born that way, but I think it's more than that.
It's not. I wasn't born that way. I can promise you that. But like, I had a disposition towards that, but I wasn't born that way, because I realize now. Because like, bro, look at your life. Your life is a testament to it's possible for someone who wasn't born like me to also start to. Because
the last 9 months, it's crazy.
It's been crazy, like the switch. But like, I think another thing that I feel like is kind of confusing to some people is like this idea of sin, right? Sin is not you to feel bad for yourself. It's literally to save you from A, doing stupid things, or B, just like make your life harder.
You're hurting yourself. It's hurting yourself.
But it's like, unfortunately,
but people think it's like you're depriving yourself.
Yeah, bro, that's the thing. But if you're disciplined, you're actually, even if you think of the word disciple, a disciple is a disciplined one, like someone who just follows basic precepts. But I find it so interesting that like
real discipline, like healthy discipline, is self-love.
It's self-love, and self-denial is also self-love. Because think about the hedonistic pleasures, right? Like, part of the reason that like I went to like jack off, or like, because I felt rejected, like someone told me no. But if I'm saying no to myself all the time, like to your point, going to the McDonald's fast food and saying no, even doing intermittent fasting. Because like, it's like, I can eat anytime I want to eat, but like, you know what? I'm going to eat in this window because I realize that like, I feel good there.
Yep.
So self-denial.
No certain foods, saying no to foods.
Yeah, but it's self-denial. Like, I could eat that. It's not that it's going to kill me, but like, I'm not going to feel well. But I have the free will to do that. But like, it doesn't benefit me. Mm-hmm. So it's like, at the end of the day.
It's like casual sex. Like, you know, you have the free will to do it. Both parties, it's mutual, but I would feel good doing it.
What people don't tell you is that when you get into a very serious relationship, you now have to unlearn all those things that you've had in casual sex. So like, you know, when some people have like, they've had very limited partners, they may feel like they're a dork or like they're dweebs, but like, you actually saved yourself from a lot of hurt. Like I find it very interesting.
It's just sad.
But this is very simple. Like, you know what I mean? It's not that complicated, bro. It's really not that complicated.
But people complicate it.
Yeah, they really do.
That's the thing. Even like, that's what I think. Like for me, like people complicate so much, like dieting and exercise and all that stuff. Because like they're like, oh, like can I eat this food? I can make a dessert like healthy? You know, can I do all those things? And it's like, for me, it's like, what do you mean you eat the same thing every day? What do you mean you don't have desserts? It's like a weird thing. It's like, I don't want to make it complicated.
We
like,
breathe the same oxygen every day, do we?
I eat the same thing. I like my foods. Like I know how it makes me feel. I know how it makes me look. And like, if I have the option to do that, like, why am I going to change that? It's like, or like the workouts, it's like, okay, like I like the workouts I do, like I enjoy it. Like, why aren't you doing this crazy new like hit circuit, you know, crazy thing? It's like, I mean, I could do it, but I enjoy it. I do, cause like I look forward to going to the gym. Like I'm going to do this for the next 20, 30, 40 years of my life.
Why do you have to complicate your life and make it harder? Why do you have to do things that like make you feel bad? Why do you have to make it so painful? Like when there's a way that like doesn't it requires some sacrifice, but it requires way less sacrifice than all the other ways you've been doing in life. Like why not go that way? Because to your point, like when you were going down your path to be disciplined, yes, it meant like, you know, not having pizza every night. Yes, it meant, but bro, you still can get. In the morning, you can grab a handful of blueberries. There's so many other things that are good. That you can have a bowl of blueberries and not mess up. But like,
I have a giant, you know, those Japanese sweet potatoes. They're like candy. I have like 2 or 3 of those a day. That's like dessert, and they make me feel good.
So now imagine 3 medium French fries from McDonald's. It's like, okay, it's a derivative of potato. Why not just get the real thing? Why do you have to get the knockoff?
Because it takes one extra step. Of like, okay, I have to take the foresight to like meal prep it.
Yeah.
Prep it, you know? But then you save time to think about it. It's like, okay, well, I don't have the time or the money, but if you're driving McDonald's or Uber eating it and paying someone to drop it off, it's like, by actually just baking the potato a bunch one night, like the long term, you're saving money and time.
And your life. and your lifespan.
But it's like in the short term, it's like easier and quicker just to go and get it versus like if you think long term, it's like, well, if I take the time now and cook for 2 hours, I have my meals for the whole week.
And bro, Tom, do you know what's so scary about what you just said, the simplicity of what you just said? That same analogy of cooking a sweet potato fries rather going to French fries, like going to McDonald's French fries, is the same reason why someone cut corners in their business, why someone is like, you know,
in a relationship they shouldn't be, they want to be alone.
Bro, why they're not spending enough time with their family, why they have an unhealthy relationship with themselves. It's like not taking the time to do the things that
necessary.
Bro.
Yeah.
And it covers every aspect of someone's life. Even with your family, like your parents, your siblings, like, bro, I really should call my siblings every now and then, but it's like you just like, no, I'm just gonna wait for
tomorrow.
I'm gonna wait for their birthday. Cause it's easier. Wait for Mother's Day to acknowledge my mom and all that stuff. But it's like, nah, dude, like life is so much more fuller and better experience of that. And then you also have a better appreciation of what you're putting in your body when you're baking your potatoes.
I made it, you know.
You made it. You know what's in it.
Yeah.
Bro, like today was very, 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 very to the point and quick. I just wanted to say any last thoughts or anything?
No, I just appreciate it.
Are you
I like the hat. I never see you wear a hat.
I threw the hat on today.
I like it. New AD today, baby.
Yeah, so anyone who's trying to reach out to me on Instagram or social media, I'm taking a break for a little bit. So, you know, I might be like, just text me.
Interesting.
Text me.
How long are you taking a break for?
I don't know.
I'm kind of at a point like even I've been
short.
like backing down off the stories.
It could be a week, it could be a month. I don't know. I'm not gonna put anything on it till I feel like I've I've reconnected with the family. I don't know, man. Just like something. Yesterday I was just like, you know, I'm just gonna take a little break from it. I realize it's taking too much of my time right now. So let me just go back to it now when I feel like, you know, that
you disconnected, regrouped. Yeah.
So you also are in that place too. You're hard too.
100%. Like I've been really like even I've dialed back on the stories. Like me posting is like
it served its purpose, and you know I think I think as a person you have to look at things like very practically. It's like it served its purpose, but right now at this point, I think I'm just gonna take some time away from it just to really reassess where I'm at.
Yeah, because
I realize I'm spending like 2-3 hours on it, so that's 2-3 hours I've gained back.
Yeah.
It's weird opening, bro. Not only do I delete my my social media, I deleted YouTube and like a lot of because I'm only gonna watch our podcast anyway, so I can go find that on Safari. But me having access to the feed is like it's unnecessary. Yeah. So like decluttering my phone.
I'm curious to see how you feel.
Yeah. I decluttered my phone, deleted a lot of apps, and I'm just focused on cleaning my house. Just keep my house clean. Like, let me just focus on keeping my house clean for a little bit.
I like
it's like, just instilling good habits. Like, you know, like.
No, I can agree.
Yeah, so.
I think the cool thing is like, I'm
not doing it from a place of hate or anything.
No.
I'm just like, man, like.
And I think it's cool. Like, just check yourself. Like, I'm gonna try this. We'll see how it goes.
Self-denial.
Yeah, see how this goes.
I realize it's something that pleasures me, so I'm like, you know what? I'm actually gonna put this down. I'm gonna start reading. Like I just picked up a book. I'm just gonna start reading a book. Like I'm reading this book called Endure. It's pretty interesting.
I've heard that.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting.
You're starting to be a runner?
Yes.
I
stopped lifting weights like 2 weeks ago. I've just been focusing on walking and just moving my body.
Really?
Yeah, because like one thing I realized about this last
I would say maybe just once a week.
I'm doing calisthenics.
Oh, good.
Bro, I got a minor pec tear for push-ups last week, Tuesday, bro. So I've had a 1 minute timer. I want to do 50. I got to 27. I just like in my pec. So
I'm like shoulder.
Pec. It's right up here. It's like shoulder pec. It's close. I don't know what it's labor. I should get it checked out, but I have full range of motion. I just didn't. I looked online. It said if it's like a minor strain, you'll see blood, but I didn't see any blood or anything.
I would just lay low.
I'll lay low on it.
Bands are good though. Just do some band work.
That's what I'm gonna. I'm gonna do bland work and sit-ups. Cause like, bro, I realize I'm not
good. I'm
not good at sit-ups, bro. I do 35 bodyweight squats, bro. I'm smoked. I'm sore the next day.
Cause your body weight ain't.
That's a lot. So like, I mean, it's simple, right? It seems like crazy. But like I'm actually doing more volume now by just moving my own body, and I feel better too. It's functional. Like now when I'm moving around the house, I feel actually a little better.
I think that's why I personally in all my workout programs I do body weight work.
So it's not like I'm not doing resistance training. I'm just like, I'm doing something new. I'm just trying to figure out like, all right, if I was ever in a situation that I'm busy or like, I'm like, okay, like I have like a habit of doing 35 squats and 20, like, you know what I mean? Like just doing like little things or like.
I think it's better doing
I'm just playing around with
micro workouts around the day.
Like every time I go to the bathroom
and do like some overhead presses with her.
Or every time I go to the bathroom, I do 5 or 10 squats. I go to the bathroom 10 times a day, like 7 to 10 times a day. That's like, that could add up, you know. And
I think that's great. I think
I'm just playing around to figure out.
I love micro workouts. Like even people like say, for example, you want to get really good at pull-ups, plug a pull-up in the doorway and just every time you go through the doorway, do a pull-up.
That's dope.
But that's how you get real strong. Like seriously, like just push-ups, birthday squats. Like I love doing micro workouts.
And I think I'm always going to be strong.
That's why I love the walks after you eat. You know, the post-meal walks.
It gets you moving.
Because you get 3 walks a day, 15 minutes.
My mom said something that's super interesting. She was like, D-Ray, like it doesn't matter what you do, you're always going to be strong. Like even if I decided to go on a juice cleanse and not eat for 21 days and drop a bunch of weight. Not saying that I'm going to do that, but like I still, at the end of it, when I introduce carb, I'm still going to be stronger than anybody at that weight. Because I don't think the strength's ever going to leave. But it's now, I think right now what I'm focused on is wellness. So I find that like, you know, I feel better when I'm like doing these. There's less stress on my body. I went a little too hard initially, so I had to dial down a little bit. Like I first was going out and I was doing 2 miles. I think I did 1.6 miles, 2 miles. Like, I was just pushing my body too much initially, but now I'm like dialing it back to just find a good spot. The shoulder thing too as well. My wife was like, I was gonna say something, but you know, you hurt yourself.
But hey, again, it's a learning.
It is because I find that like my what's it called? My disposition is to bite off more than I can chew.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you've noticed that in my life.
Yeah.
Like
we all do.
I was so focused on the June 22nd that I kind of got short range again. But I was like, dude, all right, just focus on making good habits because I wasn't expecting for June 22 to happen. So like it's still like more long range stuff. So I just find that like because I'm so aggressive and so passionate about what I want to do, and you know that's why it's good to have a good partner because my wife always checks me, like not always checks me, but we talk, and then she's like, yo, like, you know,
dial it back a little bit.
Dial it back, like you're like a kid at a toy store. You just want to do like all this stuff.
Let's go.
But, I mean, this podcast has been like a testament to like, although I was very excited about this, we've kept consistent. Things have come up. Like this weekend, I was at a seminar. I was busy. Like the weekend before, but we still find time to kind of like do
the season of
your life.
Yeah.
And I apologize for this weekend as well, but I literally did not have any free time. But you understand, yeah. But you know I want to be here.
I know.
You know I want to be
here.
here.
I have no problem. We communicated, and we just moved it, and we're here.
100%.
That's the thing. Life's gonna happen.
And don't you feel so much better after these episodes, though? It's crazy.
You don't know what that one. I think that wasn't last Saturday. That Saturday before.
Oh, dude, because you were at a tipping point, dude. That kill me door was like it was alluring you. And you know what's crazy between then and now, like what has happened in your life? It really takes a day, like. And
that's the cool thing, like that right there. I think we go so much. We go into each day, and it's like, oh, it's just gonna be another day. It's gonna be that. You have no idea.
A day can change your life, and a day can end your life too.
Very important. I think that is very important. Like it's one day, one encounter, one conversation
can change your life.
One decision
for the best or for the worst.
Exactly. Like it could be your last day, or it could be the best day of your life.
It could be the best day of your life, but like. You just understand that every single day is worth.
It's a blessing.
It's a blessing. It's a blessing. Like,
yeah.
Waking up in the morning is a blessing, bro. Like
full body function, blessing.
Yeah.
You know, having people that love you, blessing.
But every single day is
food,
important.
Blessing.
Every single day is important, bro.
Yeah, it's crazy.
But it's sick. I mean, you're experiencing the good side of it, and like never forget that. Like, but that's the thing. That's why you have people. So you have people around. That's why I'm in your life. Like, as I'm in your life, I don't
think I would have had this weekend encounter if you weren't. Seriously, I would probably be doing something that I shouldn't be doing.
It wasn't easy, man. It's not easy. Oh. It's not easy toiling with the people you love because it's like again, I don't judge you in anything that you do. Right? You can do whatever you want. I'm still gonna love you. But because I want you to have better than what I have, like, because I have a very good life, but I know you can have a better life, but all it just takes is just the discipline to be like, but it was hard getting here, man. It was very difficult.
I'm telling you, I'm like, dude,
But you kept honest with me the whole time.
100%.
That's friendship. That's what brotherhood is all about.
Yeah, I mean,
because I actually do love you, man.
I know. You know,
There's many times that you've been shooting yourself in the foot, and I'm just there. I'm just like, oh, you know what, Tom? Like, you know, I still love you, bro. Like, I'm not mad at you.
And that, yeah,
I'm not mad at you. And I don't want you to like.
I never felt that way. That's why I could be so open.
Like you did something stupid right here, and it's completely going against where you want to go. But I'm here. Like, let's think about a way to move forward.
And that's the thing is like,
and I don't control you.
I know.
I'm just here like, hey, man, maybe you want to
your popcorn
maybe you want to think about like,
let's see how this pans out.
Hey Tom, have you ever considered like maybe doing this way? Like maybe like just
yeah. It's funny because like, and that's the thing is like, it's hard to explain. I was like, because I go to my therapist, I'm like,
our relationship
because like you're so open and honest and like give advice, but it doesn't come from a place of like, I know more than you, like you're making a bad decision.
Or this will benefit me.
Or criticizing me.
Or even it doesn't benefit me, it's all for your benefit, bro.
It's the first time I've ever had like, I'm so blessed for, it's like the relationship where I get like, you know, criticism, but I don't even call it criticism, it's just like kind of advice. Because I don't feel like you're like demeaning me or being critical.
Oh, I'm not.
You're just like,
I really like that.
Just, you know, like, you think about this?
Maybe.
Well, it's good because like, it doesn't make,
because you're secure in the love. You know that,
it's a neutral place.
You know I'm never going to, I hope you know that I will never walk away from you.
Yeah.
Like I will never, I will never stop being your friend.
Yeah.
You may decide to walk away from me and I will continue to be your friend from afar, but like I will never walk away from you. And I'm not jealous either. Like I'm just like you don't have to even call me, but if you do call me, I will be there for you.
Yeah, I know. And likewise you. And I think you know that. It's just funny because it's just interesting. It's just
your therapist is like, who is this person? Like who is this human being? I am.
I know.
It's hard to explain though.
Yeah,
but like, you know,
it's great.
Bro, I just love like how life is just very like once you start simplifying everything, you actually move towards everything. And I really hope that people are blessed by our conversation that we're having because like me and Tom, although I am very peaceful and all this stuff, like I'm also an overthinker just like him. So like we still struggle with the same things and it's not like I don't remember when I was like I'm still getting better every day too. Like it's like the journey of life is like never ever ending, which is beautiful as well.
Yeah, it's scary but beautiful.
But you need relationships. Like if you isolate yourself, that's like the worst thing you can do because like unfortunately that's why a lot of people take their own lives because it gets to a point in someone's life if you don't have good relationships around you, you're not trying for relationships, that you just feel so overwhelming, guilt, shame, and just doubt that unfortunately the shortcut out is just to just take your life away, and that's not a good place to be. And I feel like a lot of people won't be there if they had depth of relationship. So I don't think it's enough to have people around you. I think also like there has to be an exchange where people are trying to get to know you and you're getting to know them. Like even though me and Tom have been talking with each other consistently for like what, a year and a half, 2 years now, we still don't completely know each other. It's gonna take our whole lifetime to know each other
because we're gonna keep evolving.
And things are gonna keep happening to us too. Like you know what I mean? Like there's things that are gonna happen to us too, but like and we don't know. But it's like I'm secure in knowing that like at the end of the day I love you and I want nothing but the best for you.
And likewise,
and I know that's the other way. So it's like. And it's like the journey of life is so beautiful once you have relationships like that. And it doesn't have to be one. And the more relationships you have like that, ironically, the better you are at being a husband, wife, father, son, whatever. Because it's not fake again, you know? Like it's not fake.
No, it's real.
And then people see that and they're like, they want, like, it got to a point in your busy season, you're like, yo, AD, I don't know, man. Like, I just like how to say hi to somebody. And they're like, Tom, I'm going through like depression. Like my life is all like they can see the light in your life, and it's like you're like, wait, what? Like I just said hello. I just asked you a question about your sneakers. Why is this getting to this point?
Yeah, but what I think like you said, but you brought me out of that shell first to get to that point. Yeah. And then it's like now I got to pass that forward.
100%.
You brought the light in, and now it's like I have the light. It's like hand that torch to somebody. It's like okay, they're in it, and showing that there's a way out of it. You know. And it's everyone's got a different path. But I think
100%.
You were the first light, and then I saw like it was like hope. I'm like,
there's people out there.
That's a marriage. You can have a marriage like that. Like what? Like you could be here. Like your wife is pregnant, and you're here right now. Like what?
Yeah,
Like,
and she in fact, she understands. Like this morning, I told my wife, I was like, yesterday, I was like, babe, can I take my son with me so that, you know, I alleviate? She's like, he's not gonna let you focus. Like, he's not gonna let you. So
I would love to see the little guy.
I know, it's nice to have him here, but she was like, he's not gonna let you focus. So she was like, even like, all right, I'll just work with him. And I was like, oh, well, all right, I guess I'll focus on just giving time to Tom then.
But it's savage. And so, but again,
But it's possible for you.
it's possible.
But it's like, you know,
Patience.
I would be lying to you. It's like, bro, it's like you telling me I want to be as fit as you, right? It's impossible for me to be as fit as you without going through what you went through. That's just the simple truth. Like, if I still am eating 10 chocolate bars a day and having 5 slices of pizza and Popeyes, I'm never going to get to a point where as I'm eating a natural surplus of calories and still maintaining a lean body mass. It's impossible for me to work towards a better weight without doing walks, without movement. I tried it for 6 months. I was like, bro, I'm getting like Tom's because Tom is like saying like I should walk. I'm like, you know, I'm just gonna work harder, longer. Like, but then you realize you do these 10-minute walks, you're like, wow, my body actually feels better. The weight's coming off. but like, it's impossible for me to be where I want to be without putting the doing. Likewise, for relationships or even that marriage, it's impossible for you to get there without putting the dues in. Listen, I've tried to think of ways to try to like help you get there, but every time we've tried, it's failed. Like, but when you did what was actually required, it actually moved in. It's like you can't do any shortcuts in life, unfortunately. But now that you're not doing the shortcuts, like you're like, oh, sad, like this is kind of cool. But the temptation will come, dude. So just fight it, bro. It's better to think long run. Better to think long run.
It's tough. It's harder. It's a harder choice, but it's a better choice.
So difficult.
It's like choose your hard. You know? Okay. It's hard to be in shape. It's hard to be out of shape. It's hard to be divorced. It's hard to be in a marriage.
It's hard to be in a good marriage.
It's hard to have.
Flourishing marriage.
It's hard to make money. It's hard to be broke.
It's hard to live paycheck to paycheck. Yeah.
You know, it's like choose what you want. You know, and like again, some people they rather choose the latter. You know, it's hard to be in a committed, faithful relationship with somebody.
It's hard to be alone. Difficult to be alone.
Yeah.
So
I mean, and at least my viewpoint on anything is like, the
nothing's
harder it is, the more fulfilled I'm going to be.
Of course, 100%.
And that's why, like, I'm looking forward to, like, hopefully in the next couple of years, the next chapter of fatherhood.
Of course.
Because that's going to be the hardest, most responsible thing, but it's going to be the most fulfilling.
And like, bro, with anything in life, once you set discipline in course, it's very straightforward. Bro.
Yeah.
It is. It's not that complicated. You're not the first one to have a kid. Like, the kid's gonna poop, you're gonna pee, and cry, and it's gonna teeth. Like, literally, there's literally checklists of all the things they'll go through. There's nothing, and you don't even need to. You can literally have a kid and not read anything online and just go off of just advice from your mom and advice from friends who have kids and instinct to get through everything.
Yeah.
Isn't that wild to think about?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
we can talk forever.
Yeah,
but
people who are less educated than us. I figured
love you,
out.
buddy. Thanks for tuning in, everybody.
Appreciate you guys. I think we
We definitely did.